Very good morning. This is Dr. Emelana Charilu, Professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. I would like to give a lecture on impedance. So here impedance. So what is an impedance? Impedance consists of the resistance as well as the reactance part. So here generally used to take impedance depends on the frequency component. Like we say that generally which is indicated by Z, and Z is equal to R plus Jx. Jx consists of the both Jxl and Jxc. So which is relates to the frequency component. Like you say that the Jxl is equivalent to the J omega L, Jxc is the J1 by J omega C. So here generally used to take the resistance is the frequency is a zero axis, you say that, and if we take a voltage and current relations, the inductance is leading and capacitance is lagging for the voltage, and for the current sense, and the capacitance is leading and inductance is lagging. So therefore impedance is a very very important parameter which is in electric circuits. So now used to take generally the impedance, this is in an electric circuit, the impedance of a component is defined as the ratio of the voltage phasor across the component over the current phasor I through the component. Just you will see this. This is the diagram, which is the phasor diagram, indicates that the inductive reactance which is on y-axis and the resistance which is on R, you say that with the phase angle of phi. So here impedance is the combination of both actually, the R plus J omega L or R plus JXL like this. So here J indicates the phase angle 90 degrees like that. So therefore the impedance is the vector component of both R and L. So now we will take the impedance which is depends on the frequency component. So here we used to take impedance phasor for the capacitor, inductor and resistor are summarized in this table. Just you have to observe that the impedance phasors are for the capacitor, inductor and resistors. So just you have to observe that the element, the first column indicates that the element, the second column which is indicated by the impedance notation, as well as the phasor notation in the third column. So here the first the capacitor ZC, which is the capacitance impedance, which is equivalent to the 1 by J omega C. So here just you observe that the imaginary axis, which is the minus J by omega C, which is in the coordinate 3 and 4 coordinates, which is relates to the real part which is on x-axis, J imaginary in the y-axis, and the inductance which is a reciprocal of the capacitance generally. So here generally used to take a ZL equal to J omega L in terms of the phase angle, which is the quite reversal. So therefore here the imaginary axis, which is J omega L on the y-axis and the real on the x-axis, you say that. So this is the phasor notation of the inductor, and you observe that the capacitor and inductor, both the phasor notations are and a little bit different. One is in the negative sign, other one is the positive sign. So here the resistance ZR equivalent to the pure resistor, this is, there is no frequency component, so therefore only a real part which is on phasor on x-axis only. So now used to take generally, this is the positive phasor occurs when the phasor is rotated in the counterclockwise direction beginning from the positive real axis. So you used to take the x-axis, which is the counterclockwise direction, which is the counterclockwise direction, it should rotate it to the 90 degrees. Then it is a positive imaginary axis, and when the phasor is lined up with the positive imaginary axis and the vertically upward with the 90 degrees, so the phase has been accumulated, so it should be increases the phase. So when the phasor is pointing leftward 180 degrees of the phase has been accumulated. When the phasor is pointing downward along the negative imaginary axis, while the minus 90 degrees or the 270 degrees like that of the phasor has been accumulated. So here plus 90 degrees accumulated, which is on the real major imaginary axis in positive sign, which is the inductance, and minus 90 degrees, which is the imaginary and the negative sign, which is in capacitor related. So here, so the keeping in mind that the impedance is the voltage divided by current, already know that Z is equal to V by I. A positive imaginary component indicates the voltage leading current, and the negative imaginary component indicates the voltage lagging current. So here, according to that, the J occurs because the J occurs in the denominator of the capacitor impedance, and the capacitor voltage lags it by the current 90 degrees. So already I told similarly, because the J occurs in the numerator of the inductor impedance, because the inductor voltage leads its current by 90 degrees. So consider that the x of t is equal to sin omega t. If we differentiate x of t analytically with respect to time, then you will get the results is x dot of t or dx d by dt of x, whatever it may be. So dx by dt, which is equivalent to the d of sin of omega t by dt, which is equivalent to the omega cos omega t. So now you used to take generally further the more the since you say that the cos lambda equal to cos of sine of 90 plus lambda like that. Already know that cos theta is equal to sine of 90 plus theta, which is in second body, but it is the positive sign for the sine, and we will give the 90 degrees opposite will come. So therefore, the right side of the x, it may be written as omega. So therefore, here sine of omega t plus 90, which is simply you call it as the j omega or sine omega t, j omega sine omega t, you say that. So here this means that the differentiation of a sinusoid frequency omega is the same as a multiplication of the sinusoid j omega. Just to observe that here you will use to take the written as omega, the omega sine omega t plus 90 degrees is there. So therefore, which is again rewrite this the j omega, because the 90 degrees apart is there, 90 degrees indicates by j omega sine omega t. So similarly, used to take the impedance of a component is often represented as a zx, where x is the component name or the description. So in terms of the potential and the flow variables, the impedance of a component is defined as the ratio of a potential variable to the flow variable, which is indicated with z component, which is equal to delta PV by delta FV. So that means actually z component is a combination of the resistance and reactance components both. So therefore here the impedance of a component, which is the ratios of potential variable to the flow variable, these two will consider from this notation z component delta PV by delta FV, which is equal to 1. Now for example, we consider the circuit element shown in figure. You say that the P1 to P2 in between. So therefore, the flow is indicated, which is FV. So therefore, circuit element, so Z, which is the impedance, is equivalent to the. You say that in accordance with the above equation, the impedance of the circuit element Z is equal to PV1 minus PV2 by FV. So that's why you used to take the PV1 minus PV2 is equal to delta PV, the difference between the two values by the flow value, which is equivalent to the impedance of a given one. So now this is about the concept of the impedance, which is a very important thing in this. And in network analysis, most of the time always we consider in resonant circuits, parallel resonant, series resonant, and we'll consider the anywhere in the network theory we use impedance circuits only, right? So thank you for watching. Thank you for keep watching this one. This is the